that person, okay?
Yeah.
And then I just get inside. I got inside. And, in your imagination, you can do anything. In your mind's eye, you can fly around the room. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and you can, if you have a pretty good idea what the inside of the body looks like, you can work on it,
So when I got in there, I got inside his spine, and I went right up to where the neck starts, just by the brainstem. And that really looked like that was really mangled up. So I have tools, and I just
psychic tools.
yeah, psychic tools. And I just put that neck back together and just glued it back together with, I just call it God's healing energy, okay? Just put that all back together. And it was
you have to do it piece by piece or what?
Well, I just sort of put it back, it's just kind of hard to explain. It's kind of hard to explain, but I just put that all back together.
Yeah.
And I got back out, and then I had his, what I do, I open up the top of his head so I can, I can see into the brain and all that. And so I'm just putting the energy in the brain because you heal yourself. And I just tell it, okay, heal, just telling his brain to heal the neck and make sure it's okay and all that stuff. Okay, and then I felt pretty good about it and just left him there. About 3 hours later, 4 hours later, my phone rang again. That was his mom. She says, I'm on my way back home. I said, what happened? She said, well, I was driving down there, and her cell phone rang, and she said it was my son. And he said, Mom, something happened, and I'm okay. There's nothing wrong with me now. And he said, you don't have to drive down. You can come on back. And those doctors are totally, absolutely, they don't know what to think about that. And I really enjoy, I have nothing against doctors, but I like to make them scratch their head and wonder.
That's what I mean with me, too. They're only doing what they're taught, and they think of the body as a machine, and they're valuable in a lot of cases, but they don't realize that there's much more to the body than just a machine. That's why I know a lot of the doctors I've been working with are coming around to the idea that the mind can heal.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's nothing wrong with doctors, but they're going to have to start embracing this other attitude, this other belief, to incorporate it, I think.
Yeah, I have a good friend who's a doctor. He's just a regular allopathic doctor.
Uh-huh.
And I went into his office one day, and he was just really having pain. He had a hernia or something, and it just really about to kill him. And so I told him, well, look, lay down there on your table and let me work on you. And he reluctantly laid down there, and I worked on him, and the pain went away. Okay, and so the next time I went in to see him, he's a good friend, and he said, Harold, I've got a herniated disc, and he had an X-ray of that. And he said, see, it's this one right here, And I said, okay, I'll see if I can do something about it. So I went home, and I sat down and just went back in there and fixed the herniated disc. Next time I seen him, I said, how's the herniated disc? He said, oh, that got okay. He said, but now I got bursitis. Can you?
He wants you to fix everything while you're at it.
Yeah. But, when you do something with intent and somebody sees that, I mean, it happened, So there's not a lot of room to be so skeptical about it. If I say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I do it, and it happens just like I said it was, then, who can deny it,
Well, there's skeptics out there, but they said there's never going to be enough evidence for the skeptics.
Yep, that's true.
And then for a believer, they don't need evidence.
Except if one really gets sick, and he'll hear about people.
And then you begin thinking, well, I wonder if there is anything to this.
Yeah, then they'll come to me.
Then they become a believer,
That's true.
But aren't there cases where you're not supposed to heal them?
Oh, yes. And I make it a point always to ask the system or their high self or whatever your mindset is. I say, is it okay if I work on this person? And then I'll just get an answer yes or no. I mean, it's not words.
But you feel it in your head then?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, you said it's not words. Do you just feel the answers?
Yeah, it just says yes. It's just like a great idea. You know, you get an idea like the light bulb goes on, you know.
Yeah.
And that's how it happens. It just says either yes or no, but it's just energy that I know that I can interpret what it says.
Yeah. That's what people say. Do you hear them in your head? It's not really words.
No.
It's like someone speaking, but you know.
Yeah.
Like just a feeling of knowing. You know, would that be better?
Yeah, and a lot of times, well, not a lot, but several times I've gotten, they say, nope, this person's going through some process that they got to finish before they can be healed, you know.
Yeah.
And so you just, you don't argue with them. You say, okay.
It's something they have to experience.
Yeah, that's right. They're going through something that they have to experience.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what I've had in my work, too, because, in my work, the subconscious will talk to me and tell me what's going on.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll say, no, we're not supposed to heal this because it's something they contracted for in this life, and they have to go through it themselves for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's karma, who knows, but it is something they have to work through.
Yeah, that's...
And then sometimes it'll come through and say, they're supposed to heal themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
Because there's something they're going to learn that way.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they're not supposed to do it.
Yeah, and my system, what I call my system, which is my angels and guides and spirit guides and God and, the whole system.
Yeah.
I just asked, and sometimes they just said, no, you can't do it. That person can't be healed, And I've worked on a lot of drug addicts that just got off the drugs, a lot of alcoholics that got off the alcohol, people who smoked that wanted to get off of it.
But they really want to?
Yeah, most of the drug addicts, they didn't know I was working on them. I used to think I had to get permission consciously, but I've worked on so many people who are in a coma or who are babies or animals. And I work on a lot of animals.
You're mostly communicating with that other part of them, then.
Yeah, that higher self, their higher self. And I always ask.
That's what I was thinking. If the drug addicts came to you themselves, or did one of the relatives?
No, his mother. Usually.
They'll say, "Can you work on them?"
Yeah, usually the mother. Yeah, or the wife, or some girlfriend, or.
And you're able to take the desire away from them?
Yes, I take the desire away from them. I put in the desire to get off drugs and the ability to get off drugs.
Yeah.
And, it's just a process that you clean out. I don't think you would ever have anything physically wrong with you unless you had some unresolved emotional stuff,
Yeah.
And
I call it the garbage and the luggage, baggage and the garbage we carry around with us.
That's it, yeah. And so I can get up there, I can get rid of all of that emotional stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah, and most of the time that's the reason they're on. They're either on drugs or alcohol, and I can get rid of that, and then they don't have any desire for it anymore.
That's also what I found, one of the reasons why people make themselves sick, too.
Yeah, that's
carrying
true.
all this stuff around with them.
Yeah, it's really true. And I've had people just go 180 degrees, from what they were doing. It's just, absolutely. It's amazing how quick sometimes this stuff works.
But that's what I tell a lot of people. It's stuff they're carrying around. They have to forgive the other person.
Well, that's important.
To get rid of this stuff, because that's what they're carrying around and begins to eat at their insides.
Yep.
And they say, well, I can't forgive them. You don't know what they did to me. Well, as long as they're carrying that around, they're not going to get well because they're hanging on to it and it's only hurting themselves.
That's absolutely true.
But you don't have to go into the part like I do. You just go work with them.
I just clean it off myself.
You work with that other part of them.
Yeah.
And you're able to do all of that. But I think there is so much to this that people need to explore. And I believe now is the time. We're moving into this new time where this is going to be more and more accepted.
Oh, absolutely. It is. It's getting more and more.
I consider us like the underground. Like there's an undercurrent, and it's there, and it's bigger than people realize. the normal people on the surface realize. But I get a feeling all of this is getting ready to come to the surface, and people are going to be very surprised.
I'm sure, because people are being prepared for it. You know, a lot of the kids' cartoons on Saturday morning, they got all this magic stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's beginning to seep into a lot of shows.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm watching the clock because I have to stop at 5 till, but I want you to give out your information so that people can contact you if they want to.
Okay. The Ozark Research Institute the web page is www.ozarkresearch, one word, OZARKRESEARCH .org. Yeah, .org, because they're a nonprofit. That's ORG.
Okay.
And the email is ORI@IPA.net.
What was those letters again?
India, Paul, Alpha, IPA.
Okay.
.net.
And you want to give out a phone number?
Yeah, it's 479-582-9197.
This way, if anyone wants to contact you for you to work on people,
sure, they can,
or if they want to know about your classes, and if they want to ask you to come and do workshops anywhere.
If they look on the web page under workshops, they'll see where I've been, where I'm going in the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, that's what I have on mine also.
And so,
and if they want to attend, or if they want to ask you to come and do something, they can do it then.
Yeah, just like in the next 4, 5, or 6 weeks, I'm going to be in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm going to be in Oklahoma City. I'm going to be in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm going to be in Oakland, California, and another place in Northern California. And I'm just anyway, it's all on there.
I know. That's why I'm enjoying. Now I got 1 week home anyway before I have my next class. But it seems like the universe gives us plenty of energy to do what we have to do.
Oh, it does. I'm 74, and I got more energy than most 40-year-olds.
Well, I'm of 75.
Oh, are you? Well,
yeah, we're the same age, and so we're both doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, that's for sure. And
that's what I mean. It doesn't fall into this paradigm. You have to get old. There's a lot you can do with the rest of your life.
That's true. But
okay, I'm going to give my information, and then we'll be signing off. But Harold, I want to thank you for being with us.
Well, thanks, Dolores. I'm really happy to do it, and anytime you need me to do something, let me know.
Okay, and it's been wonderful talking to you.
You too.
Okay, now my information, my company is Ozark Mountain Publishing. So my website is Ozark Mountain, abbreviated, OZARKMT.com. And our 800 number is 1-800-935-0045. 1-800-935-0045. Okay, and thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, Dolores. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.